Hello, Shrewdness fans. Welcome to the latest podcast. I'm Prue, joined by Lou, Chiz, and Dex today. We're back to talk about some guillotine fantasy football and the NFL playoffs this week.
That's right. We got Prue in the safe house. How you doing there,
That's
buddy?
right.
Just don't give in. Don't talk.
Yeah. Don't
holding
say.
out.
Don't tell them.
You still have all your fingernails?
I do for now, yes.
There we go. That's key.
Oh.
All right. So last week, for our guillotine people out there that followed us on Shrewdness and tried to get a team, we're kind of learning as we go. But it was fortunately we had one team that was god awful in our league. They drafted a whole bunch. I think they were on auto draft. I think you're right, Chiz. They had to have been. So they took all these Chiefs and Detroit players and they had to drop them all. But so that guy got eliminated. So we kind of got a free pass. So we're moving on to week 2. And yeah, we had to pick up half a team because that's what this guillotine is, man. So it's not so much having good players, it's that they might be gone the next week.
That's right.
So this week we had to do some bids.
But what did we finish, Lou? What did we finish in the 5-team league? We did okay.
So we got third.
didn't we?
So we got like 107 points, but it was kind of a low-scoring week. So everybody that was doing anything last week, a lot of people didn't do much. And a few people did. And if you had Ladd McConkey, you had a pretty good day.
Right.
Lamar, obviously, all right. But then there's a lot of people that didn't do anything. So, Lou, how'd Cooper Kupp do?
Yeah, I had a second guillotine team, and Cooper Kupp was all I had to have was about 7 points from him, and he had one catch for like 20 yards, and he will not be playing on any future fantasy teams by me ever again.
Is he in the middle of one of the most precipitous fantasy drop-offs in the
I don't
history
understand
of
what's
fantasy?
going on, though. How's he not even getting targets?
It's insanity. This dude was racking up like 12 catches for 3,000 yards every game last year, and now he's getting
this year,
one.
Even this year, like his first game back, he had I think he did have 12 catches.
Yeah.
And then he still is getting 5 to 8. Then all of a sudden, I think he has 4 catches the last 3 weeks.
It's crazy.
Or 4 weeks. I mean, it's brutal. He probably was knocking people out. And
He has become a very, very low floor guy. So don't hitch your wagon.
Low floor, no ceiling.
Right?
I mean, this dude's
Do
the
not
opposite.
hitch your wagon to Cooper Kupp if you're still alive in guillotine fantasy playoff.
He's like a swimming pool at this point.
He's just going under. He's killing you. So anyway, if you got him, it's kind of interesting. So we went to get a few, obviously, you need to. So Chiefs and Detroit guys. So my strategy on the draft last week in our separate league, I tried to get as many people as possible who I thought, if I had a list and I was between a couple people on the draft, I put a plus next to the teams I thought would win and a minus next to the ones. So if it was close, I took the team I thought would win. And, oh, man, McConkey, he was one I was really counting out for 2 weeks. So I lost all my receivers. So that was awesome. But it's just what it is. So at the end of the day, and then the one I did keep, A.J. Brown, thanks, buddy. I mean, he turned more pages than yards in that game.
#1 selling book on Amazon, and we ordered it immediately during the game.
Isn't that funny?
Inner Excellence. There you go. Sponsored by.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That dude owes a kickback and a half.
Yeah,
Oh my
he does.
gosh, yeah.
And the camera guy, I mean, they usually zoom in on people's nostrils. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but watching these playoff games, they've gotten even more. It's like they
love the nostrils. They love
I'm like, back up, man. I want you to back up so I can see some stuff because you have the announcers talking about what's going on in the field, and I'm getting nostril cam. I'm like, I don't need to be this close. Back up. Let me see the people around him, some grass in front. This is ridiculous.
I wish my TV was smaller.
Sort of. I mean, I back up, and they keep bringing it to me. He's like, no. I see you backing up. Let me bring you the nostril.
Is this the point where I mentioned it was kind of a bad playoff round?
Oh, it's brutal.
It was.
It was like a lot of fun.
One fun game.
Uncompetitive games for sure.
One fun game.
Yeah, Baker Jaden was the only entertaining game of the weekend, and most of them weren't even fun into the second quarter. Like sometimes you got it was bad all around.
It was very obvious early in games. You were like, oh man. I mean, the weird one was Houston because that game started out the Chargers were up, and you were like, oh okay, the Chargers are like, and then
And I posted, I said, well, it seems really bad that they're only up 7-6.
Yeah.
Or 6-3.
6-3
Yeah,
or
6-0. And they have dominated this game, and they've done nothing with that domination.
It is. It's weird.
Yeah.
As soon as that was going on, I should have live lined the other direction.
What's weird, though, is like it's weird to see a team, and you're right, Lewis, they're dominating.
Yeah.
And like
the whole half.
usually you don't see a shit that drastic back to domination the other way, which is exactly what happened. It was like
they had every opportunity to put their foot on the throat, and they just turtled and they're like, we're just gonna like turtle and win. And I just you notice every other team, they just put their foot on the gas, and there was no mercy. Bills scored 1 million, the Ravens scored 1 million. I mean, you just can't just get all like, oh, we can win like a 13-10 game. Well, you're gonna lose. You just gotta go.
I think a couple teams learned a lot about the quarterbacks they had. I mean, Bo Nix started off with one good throw.
Yeah.
Then didn't score for the next 58 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, not even a field goal. And that's kind of bad. Jordan Love. That dude, I don't know. He doesn't appear to be the answer. I know he was hurt earlier in the season. I was giving him a pass on that.
Paid a lot of money for him to not be the answer.
It did. So did Kirk Cousins. And that's working out for him, too.
Good point.
You don't need to win playoff games to get paid in this league. Ask Daniel Jones. He won one game ever and got paid.
Now, hold up. I gotta make a Jordan Love point. The issue with Jordan Love is he is not progressing as an NFL quarterback in a way that most people wouldn't think is appropriate. But, like, he needs to learn how to check down.
Yeah,
he only has eyes down the field. Yeah, and the problem is he's just got all of these, like, 8-yard gains, and he's like, never. I'm only shooting these, like, 15-yard outs and, like, post patterns. And it's like, dude, you've got, like, all of the field. Work with the whole field. Or, God forbid, just tuck it and run more. They know you're going to go down the field, so they just sprint everybody down the field.
And he doesn't have Tom Brady, Dan Marino legs. He's faster than that.
No, a strange thing is in college he ran the ball quite a bit, and I'm shocked that it's not more a part of his game. It would really help him.
I think so too.
If you watch highlights from Mahomes' first 2 or 3 years, he was a bit like that to start, right? He wanted to show off the arm, chuck the ball down the field to Tyreek, and then he's gotten a lot smarter the last 5 years.
That's right, Prue.
Quick screen passes, and it's check downs, and it's
takes what's
running
there.
the ball, and you take what's there, you keep
and you move
dirt down, and you score points.
Right, God bless you.
God bless you.
Not getting hit is key in this league. So that was an early fee break for Lou.
Yep.
So
another quarterback who I thought in the same game.
Record.
Yeah, in the same game, I thought that also equally unimpressed. And you've been on this train the whole season, Chisholm, is Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
He was god awful, man. He did nothing.
Bad at throwing the football.
He had 2 touchdowns and he had his 130 and he gets the W's. At the end of the day, he keeps winning.
Get the W.
But boy, I would have question marks. Like, is this the guy you want to go forward? I mean, I understand he's winning, so maybe that's all you need. That's the
problem,
stats be damned, but
you get a guy like that who's gotten you to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And maybe taking you back again. Who knows?
And he's gotten you to the Super Bowl. He's talented enough to win all these games, right, Dex? He's sitting there 13 wins, 12 wins. Like, he's getting big wins every. But when you watch him, you're just like,
how?
He's not the guy. You just watch him and you go, he's not the guy.
You have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Christ, why would you not throw to Saquon Barkley?
Right.
I'd throw to him like 6-7 times a game.
Yeah.
Like his rookie year, he had over 70 catches. It's not like he can't catch, and he will never take it. And I don't know how many times I saw it. Saquon out with a 30-yard circle around him, and no, I'm just going to do nothing, throw it out of bounds. Like he's just not good. He's getting worse.
Yes.
Surprisingly slow. Every time he takes off and no one's around him, I'm like, oh, he's going to
slowly get there.
He's going to
he just randomly
run
gets
for
tackled
4 yards.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a 3-4 yard gain when no one was around him. Like, how did that possible? He was
and then quarterbacks to continue to impress. Jackson, he looked just good again. He is really
does.
Good. But the thing is, he's the opposite of Hurts. So Hurts only had 130 yards. Like Jackson only had 175, but he also contributes 81 yards on the ground. He extends plays. He makes things happen.
Well, again, my issue is
I think he's so much better than Jalen Hurts.
I've been saying it. This ratty ass Pittsburgh team. You can't take anything out of it.
How do we not just take Philly? Gosh, speaking of ratty ass.
So like, have we seen a team with such a precipitous decline? Oh wait, we did last year's Philadelphia Eagles. The exact same thing. Yeah. They went straight off the cliff in the last 4 or 5 games. They got awful, and it's like a team catches a virus.
Yeah, they
and
limped
at least
in.
One every year catches this virus. Last year it was the Eagles. This year it's the Steelers. The Steelers were as hapless. There were probably 10 teams that didn't make the playoffs that could have played a better game than that game.
No, they were done.
I thought Justin Fields was going to come in for sure. I was actually very surprised that they just let the Russ bus finish this thing. That's what I was saying. Why not? Let's see.
Fields at?
Like, where's the spark? Because it sure ain't Russ bus.
Like, there's nothing to lose putting him in. Like, you went and got Fields, and it's this bad for this many weeks. What? No one's going to blame you for putting him in. So that brings you the question. Where are you guys on the Tomlin question?
Man, here's my take on him. I think he's actually a really good coach.
Before you give background, I'm going around. I'm going to go around the horn. I'm going to ask. All right, I'm coming to you. You keeping Tomlin? Yes. Or are you firing Tomlin? No. So prove it. Yes or no?
What's your objective as a Pittsburgh Steelers owner?
No. You're the GM.
You just say somebody asks you what's your opinion. Regardless, there's no.
If I'm the GM of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he's out.
Okay, Lewis.
If you're asking me, do I think they should retain him or not?
That's
Brian Lewis, which was the question, right? I just double check.
Yes.
Brian Lewis says you keep him because I promise he would not stay on the open market 30 seconds before somebody would hire him.
He'd be
so you're a
yes.
Yep.
I'm a yes. Keep him. I mean,
there's so many bad coaches, dude. Many bad
and
coaches.
He's so good, and he makes terrible teams get into the playoffs. Just imagine if they could ever be bad enough to get a high draft pick where you give him a real quarterback and a real top 5 pick ever.
So
I think they'd do awesome.
I would say I am with Pruitt on this, and here's why. I have the scars of a man I loved named Marty Schottenheimer, and I believe Mike Tomlin is Marty Schottenheimer. He is good enough to make the playoffs every year and never going to be good enough to win it.
Exactly.
I just don't want that. I can't live in that.
Cool. All right. Let me introduce you to a little time period called 1998 to 2012.
We call it the wilderness.
We call this
Let me introduce you to a little guy named Todd Haley.
Let me give you a 14
that's what I'm saying. The carousel.
14-year stretch where it was hard to watch them play.
Punishingly bad football.
Like, you would watch a quarter and you'd be like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. And it was 14 years. Kids were born and almost drove cars.
Yep.
And I would have taken Marty Schottenheimer any of those years.
Yeah, because he went to the Chargers and started winning again.
It's a good point. I think perspective is key here, right? If you give me Marty Schottenheimer now, I'm pissed, right? Yeah. So as a Chiefs fan, I look at the purgatory.
Schottenheimer?
I know that's a step down.
I know, but what I'm saying is, if you're a Chiefs fan and you see Tomlin, you're like, I want no part of that, right? He is just good enough. But if you are
good enough. I think he's really good.
If you're a Raiders fan, you sign me up for Tomlin all day because he's going to the playoffs, and I got a cat in the.
Oh no! We got to do the exercise. We got to do the exercise. Well, stop right there, sir. We're doing the exercise right now. I'm pulling it up. We're pulling up.
But here's a fun thing though. So last year with Russell Wilson in Denver with Sean Payton, they sucked, terrible, god awful, got a high pick. This year Russell Wilson goes to Tomlin and the Steelers, and they're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
all right,
one coach got
exercise.
through.
We're gonna do it quick.
Weird.
All right.
You're right.
Are you keeping Bill's head coach or take Tomlin?
Tomlin.
Tomlin.
I think they'd be even better.
McDermott? I would go with McDermott. Fine. But okay.
I didn't like our answer right there.
I don't care. That's fine. But
I think that's a toss-up for me. I think they're both good coaches.
I do too. I don't think McDermott's bad. You just said Tomlin.
No, I don't think McDermott's bad.
No, that's fine. Okay, the disc jockey down in Miami.
Oh, I'd take Tomlin for sure.
Mike McDaniel.
Right? Tomlin. Yeah, Mike McDaniel.
Tomlin.
I'm going to say Mayo. Let's go with Mayo, even though, of course, obviously you take Vrabel. I think Vrabel's an easy answer.
I take Vrabel over
Mayo, no chance you're taking him.
No.
The Jets, blank. Would you take the blank? No, you take Tomlin for the Jets, right?
Right.
You probably would keep.
I got a good one, Lou. Chisholm's favorite, Dan Campbell or Mike Tomlin.
That's
Dan Campbell. That's easy.
I do Dan Campbell. I think he's just. I don't know, man.
Tomlin.
I want to hit. Yeah, Chisholm's answer is Tomlin.
That's the important part, Chisholm. By the way, you said Tomlin for literally everybody, but
I know.
Vrabel. Okay, I think you keep Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach Taylor.
I would replace him in a heartbeat. I think Tomlin would have that team in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Tomlin, no question. Browns.
I don't think
he's really good though.
Stefanski's
a really good coach.
Great.
He's not that bad though. Deshaun Watson's really bad.
Cool.
I still take
at
Tomlin.
this point, you would still take Tomlin, right?
I'd take Tomlin for sure. But Stefanski doesn't suck.
A good question. Texans.
I like that guy.
DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah, I'll keep him.
I think I would take DeMeco Ryans. I feel like he has done a lot with a little.
Yeah, I think
that's one of the relatively, I think, definitive. Like, okay, cool.
I think he's up and coming.
Shane Steichen with the Colts.
No,
he looked overmatched as hell this year.
He did. I just don't think he made
the Jaguars' open position. I think Tomlin could easily fill that. The Titans.
Peterson.
The Titans, do they have an open position? It's basically the guy's garbage. Sorry, I apologize if you know him or whatever.
No.
Sean Payton.
Most of our shrewdness listeners know the coaches.
I apologize if you know him or are him.
I'd probably take Sean Payton.
Sean Payton's a good call. He's a Hall of Fame coach. Great.
Yeah, Sean Payton. There's a lot of good coaches. There's a group. And the thing is, I'm not really going to knock one out when it's in the same caliber.
Would you take Payton or Tomlin?
That's what I'm saying. The whole point of the exercise is: would you take Tomlin or Sean Payton?
Yeah, no, I think they're.
Sean.
I wouldn't be mad at either one.
Yeah, I'd take Payton.
I'd take Payton. Andy Reid. Okay, it's just a joke. Best coach of all time. Whatever.
Right.
Fine.
Right.
The Raiders' empty position, or Tomlin. Right. The other Harbaugh. I think you still take the other Harbaugh right now. He had a lot of success. Right. Cowboys' empty position. Obviously, Tomlin beats that.
You mean Deion Sanders?
Yeah.
Giants. Okay, where are you on Brian? Daboll. I'd take Tomlin. Tomlin's had a better track record. I think you'd take Tomlin there. The aforementioned Nick Sirianni.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right.
I don't like Sirianni. I don't think he doesn't lead a culture. He develops
Commander's
trash.
head coach. Commander's head coach. I'm blanking on his name.
Dan Quinn.
Quinn.
No.
Tomlin. No question. I thought that was a trash hire. They got a great quarterback, and he's a cheerleader.
I know, but he made it work with the rookie quarterback first year.
He's no Tomlin.
That's amazing.
He's no Tomlin.
I don't know. Let's see how he does.
He's a gopher on fourth down every play, too.
And that was brutal.
Bears.
Like, they would have been up like 12 points if they just would have done normal things.
He's a Dan Campbell wannabe.
He is.
Yeah.
Bears, empty position. Obviously, Tomlin's better than that. I like LaFleur over Tomlin, but I think that's probably closer. I like LaFleur.
I'd take Tomlin.
I know you probably would. You're not a LaFleur fan.
No.
When it comes to whatever Vikings, McVikerson guy.
O'Connell, KOC, baby. He's
good.
Yeah, I like.
I mean, he can't make Darnold throw it to the freaking wideouts.
I think it's a slight edge to him, because of youth. And
Wait. No. Let's ask the Vikings fan this for real. You got a chance to fire Kevin O'Connell, Vikerson.
Would never fire him.
Get Mike Tomlin.
Nope. Hard pass. I'll take O'Connell all day, every day.
Interesting.
What was yours, Chisholm?
What
was yours, Chisholm?
It's not. He's good.
Chisholm,
he's got a locker room.
He pull the fights. Tomlin. There we go. Falcons. All right, Tomlin. Panthers. Tomlin.
Well,
Saints.
Oh yeah, Saints don't really have anyone either.
Buccaneers. The entire NFC South was a laugher.
Yeah.
Buccaneers. Resting fart face.
Resting fart face. He's going to absolutely.
Man,
right.
what's funny is even when they show this high school picture, he was on the verge of like.
Okay, Gannon with the Cardinals or Tomlin?
Tomlin.
All right, you're going to take McVay. I think that's a universal.
Yeah, McVay's awesome.
You're going to probably take
McVay.
Shanahan.
I'll take Shanahan. He's awesome.
Tomlin's had more success by a lot. But you would take Tomlin over the Seahawks. So what I read there.
But Shanahan goes to the Super Bowl every other year.
The Bills is a toss-up. Otherwise, everything in the AFC, he would immediately get a job. The Ravens is probably set.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to the
East. He meant the East.
Oh,
the
got
East,
you.
Right?
Yeah.
So AFC East, the Bills is question mark, but you might even take him there. The Ravens probably set. Otherwise, the rest of the division would take him, including the Steelers. So, of course, take that, of course. Maybe with DeMeco Ryans with the Texans. Otherwise, the rest of the South. The Chiefs have their head coach. Maybe the Chargers. Otherwise, everybody and Peyton. Actually, AFC West has good coaches, except for the empty Raiders. So the AFC
Which is
West
why they had
is
3 teams in the playoffs.
The Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles, the Commanders, the Bears, the Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Buccaneers, Cardinals, and Seahawks. They would all take him in a heartbeat. I listed 80% of the league would take him in a heartbeat. Why would you get rid of the guy that 80% of the league?
Which team needs him the most, Lou? If he was a free agent right now, who's throwing the most money at him to get him?
Well, I would say the Raiders, but the Raiders won't. They pay cheap, and then they just.
I think Jerry would go get Tomlin in 2 seconds.
No.
Why?
Jerry wants a yes man. Look at this. He hires Campo, Switzer.
It's working so well.
Exactly. He's not
smart enough.
He's Jerry Jones.
89 years old. That dude is not changing.
He'd want him, I guess. You might be right. Tomlin probably say, hell no.
If I could pick him and put him somewhere, I would put him in Chicago.
They would do it. They would throw money at him.
Because he's got I think there's talent in Chicago, and I think he could actually do something.
There is talent.
Here's the deal, Mike. Here's why I would say no on Tomlin if I'm a Steelers GM. Here's why. Sometimes you just need a change. And they are in a rut. And I don't feel like the Tomlin message is getting through. I don't feel like it's going to break through in Pittsburgh. It's not because I think he's a bad coach. I just feel like they're in perpetual 10-6, 9-7 hell. And like, if he goes somewhere else, I think it's good for both of them. I think it'll be good for both of them.
By your rationale, the Eagles won a Super Bowl using that rationale, and the Chiefs won 3. Right? And that's fine. If you're okay watching your former coach go and win potentially 3 Super Bowls with somebody else.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I know
it's a talent thing.
I know lots of Eagles fans. Here's what they always say. Yeah, he was done coaching. He was just done coaching. They still say it, even though he just won 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and he's won 9 straight division titles.
Are you kidding me? He was done coaching? Because he sure didn't seem like he was done coaching.
Yeah.
Right. True.
My take is that that Andy Reid's got the like a jockey, right? He knows how to hold back his team and peak at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you look at the trend of, Tomlin this season, they started out whatever it was.
They're like 4-2.
Super hot. And then finish 0-5.
Right.
That's like the opposite of what you want from your head coach.
Right.
And I don't feel like he's got that part of his coaching style or whatever plan figured out to where he's ever going to get
I would leave.
Peaking at the right time.
If I were him, I would leave. If I were them, I wouldn't let him go. If I were him, I would get out of the AFC.
So here's a question for you.
I would go to the Bears in a heartbeat. You've got
the
a
NFC South and start winning some divisions.
Here's a question for you then.
AFC's trash. You never win the AFC.
Where do you think Steelers Nation sits? Do you think Steelers fans want him gone or want to keep him?
I think Steelers Nation.
You asked Shiraz.
I was going to say, we should ask Shiraz.
We could have him on theoretically. I think he would be done. They have ridiculous expectations. They're kind of the Oklahoma, Ohio State, Georgia, expectations from college where they're always talking about one for the thumb. Now they're past the one for the thumb nonsense. They don't deal with playoffs really necessarily. They deal with Super Bowls. So their expectations is higher than what I would tend to expect. So you're probably right. They're probably done with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, interesting. So the Steelers got housed as expected. What other games that jumped out at us? We're dodging one big one. We're dodging one big one. I don't know why we danced around.
Didn't score again.
Yeah, the Broncos. We're dancing around one game.
Included the team that was the most wins wild card team in NFL playoff history.
Say his name.
The Minnesota Vikings. And they went to the Rams, who last game, there was a face mask in the end zone, if you guys remember that, when Darnold got yanked down, didn't get called, and then awesome. So that was sweet. So this time, nearly another one because we got more controversy on the Stafford no look because my head is in my butt cheeks pass to nobody. But because they called it a fumble, they didn't throw a flag for grounding, and you can't do grounding on replay, which is god awful. If we're going to have replay, use replay. You can't just take a touchdown off the board and then not make it grounding.
Well, if it had been the Missouri Tigers versus the Florida Gators basketball game, this would have happened.
They would have had replay.
Well, it's funny. Then they did call one later. Because they said, well, there's no flag. I don't know why they're changing the call on this one. Yeah, I don't know either. And then Katie and I were waiting for the damn flag. Like, show me the replay of the flag that got thrown. So this mythical unicorn flag never showed up.
But hold on just a second, because the way you're approaching this makes it sound like this was a close game. And
it would have been close. It was 10-10 until it got pulled off the board.
One of these calls would have changed the outcome.
No, so here's the deal. Is Sam Darnold played god-awful 2 straight weeks. For a dude that was playing for a number 1 seed in the first round bye, to play that pitiful against Detroit, who they played well for 3 quarters, honestly. They weren't putting up points, but it wasn't a bad game. And then the last quarter was gross.
You know who's sleeping well tonight? Jets
Sam
fans. Jets fans are finally, they're just like snuggled up in their bed with their little Schadenfreude under their pillow. And they're just like...
The only bit of satisfaction they got out of this whole season was Sam Darnold pumpkining in the playoffs.
We told you!
I mean, years ago. I know, but it was years ago. He hasn't played for the Jets in years. I'm not too worried about that.
They're looking at that ex-girlfriend like, told you she was psycho.
Yeah, so that was probably the biggest shocker. I really, really, really thought he would bounce back because he did win 14 freaking games, which is hard to do in the NFL. And it's just amazing that.
Here's what I want to know, Dex. I gotta ask
Justin Jefferson.
I gotta ask you, Dex. What happened that, like, because I don't watch a lot of Vikings games. I watch little snippets of red zones, right?
Yeah.
And I see that highlights.
They're hard to watch, but yeah.
But I gotta say, I gotta ask you. I watched most of this game, and the big problem, as you know, and you identified when we were off camera, was he held the ball super long.
Long.
How did this not happen all season?
I'm telling you, man, the last 2 games, I think we got to see what he is under pressure. In the biggest moments, in the biggest games, he got indecisive. And then his footwork went to crap. He wouldn't make a decision. He was just letting it rip all season long, which is why he's throwing 3. He averaged 280 a game.
Right. So you think he got in his head?
He got in his head. Big moment. Oh, my God, I can't mess up. And he's also probably like, man, if I do well here, I'm going to get freaking paid.
Right.
And he's probably still going to get 20, 30 million, but he would have been in the 40 million a year range if he would have won. The important point
is he did get that sack, so he did make it in the record books. He did play for Notre Dame.
For Notre Dame.
What? Oh. You're ridiculous.
I knew Chisholm would get it.
But on that deal, though, so 9 sacks they took. So Sam Darnold took 9 sacks, season high, not even close. And we lost our right tackle. That didn't help.
Playoff high is, I believe, what I saw. The most sacks.
All I know is it was ridiculous. Watching the game was torment. And it was a bad month to start dry January because, boy, did I need some shots.
So
I'm like, this is the most ridiculous thing in the world. I'm like, oh, it hurts. It pains me.
If you're the Vikings offensive coordinator, how many times do you let your quarterback get sacked before you change your approach?
So did you watch him throw a screen?
What I don't understand.
Did you watch him throw the screen into the freaking bench because it was so
that
bad?
Was incredibly bad.
The touchdown he had to Hawkinson was a terrible throw. It was low and behind, and but for T.J. Hawkinson being one of the greatest tight ends in the league right now. He's the best. But he's pretty damn good. Like he pulled that trash ball.
He caught that one. Yeah.
And all I know is that when your last catch for Jefferson is I think it's the second quarter. He had 5 catches in the first half. None. The rest of the game.
As some of us may have had an over for Jefferson, I did notice the number
true.
Wasn't going any higher.
If you follow the socials, we were well on pace for getting our.
And Rudy Rudiger's over on his runs, man. We nailed that.
Oh my God!
I mean,
the one thing he did.
What can we expect, though? I mean, he's 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing,
Jiminy
and he's the best team in the land, all the way to the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, no, it was 10-10 for a second, and then the 7 went off.
Anymore, Dex. You knew this was coming.
So wait, Dex, I do have a serious question for you, Vikings Nation.
McCarthy.
Is Darnold done? Are you done with him?
He's done, man. The thing is, I'll take freaking.
Wait. You just said
Dan Jones and Nick Mullen.
You just said he won 14 games in this league. That is.
But we saw what he is
and
under pressure. Under pressure, he sucks balls.
We just had this conversation. It was with Mike Tomlin, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the same,
it's the same conversation. So you're going to trade 14 wins?
That's great that you get. That's great that you have a good regular season, but if you get to the playoffs and immediately go out,
here's the deal.
It.
He's still getting signed. He's
seasons.
Still getting signed.
Who do you think's going to take Sam Darnold?
There's so much bad quarterback play. Someone's going to sign him. He'll be at least a backup, but he's going to get signed.
Well, for sure. I mean, look at the starting quarterbacks of this league. There's plenty of opportunities for that guy.
The Titans will probably take him right now.
Yeah.
They
Would he go back to the Jets?
Their Maya or Levis.
That would be awesome. If he went back to the Jets, that would be awesome.
I don't think he would even do that to himself. But
he'd go to the Titans in a heartbeat.
Yeah, right? Titans. I mean, the Giants. I mean,
hey. Oh, speaking of,
what are they doing?
Speaking of Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Why did we not free Daniel Jones in that game? Free Daniel Jones. He's sitting on your sideline.
He was the emergency quarterback.
The white Lamar. Put the man in. Let him lead the comeback for the Vikes and become the greatest Viking of all time. Why not? Why not put him in?
You know what's even better? Quarterback. What if they put Daniel Jones in and he had led this crazy comeback, and then to have Daniel Jones beat you in a playoff game and then come back and win you a playoff game? It would have been the best narrative of all time.
It would have been pretty baller.
Would explode.
Yeah, all the Vikings Nation's heads would have exploded at the same time. Blood in the snow everywhere.
Yeah, here's an interesting weird thing for the last week of the season. And now it's got all this goofy talk, and I can't believe it. For the New England Patriots, Drake May or Joe Milton III or second, whatever it is, Joe Milton. And they're like, should they keep Joe Milton or Drake May? I'm like, come on, man, Drake May.
Yeah.
All day, every day. But now they said he played so well in the last game. They just wanted to see what they had.
I don't care.
That's where I'm at. Who gives a crap?
Like,
if you can protect him and sign him as whatever, but I could see somebody giving Melton a starting job
for
over
sure.
that.
I do too. And he's had that 1 year watching, which is what everybody wants.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of teams he could be traded for. If they're smart, why not trade him?
I'd trade him.
It's Vrabel, by the way, and I'm annoyed. Yeah. I wish he'd gone to the NFC.
I know. Vrabel's a great hire.
I hate playing against him because it's always going to be close.
I know. He's a good coach.
A close game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I
hated seeing him when he was with Tennessee.
Oh, it was a great hire for them, especially like he also timed it perfect. You never want to be the guy after the guy. You want to be the guy after the guy after the guy. So you don't want to come in after Belichick But the guy after Belichick.
I mean, do you want to add the next layer to Vrabel? Do you understand he signed a contract to be an assistant coach, like an advisor with the Browns, right?
Yes.
Did he?
Signed his, yes, he did. And so he worked kind of with the Browns, tried to help them out a little bit, but he signed his contract such that it would end and be done with the ability for him to go on interviews, right? And so he was able to go to in-person interviews with all of the teams that he wanted to.
Oh, wow.
And everybody else had to do Zoom if they were allowed to do them at all. So
Weird.
He got to do his little junket tour.
Genius.
And then
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. And then he absolutely played the Patriots by doing that Jets interview. Absolutely, 100%. They fired Mayo purely because he did that Jets interview.
Absolutely. He forced their hand.
Yeah.
Well, I thought,
it was...
so kind of with the behind-the-scenes stuff, I guess that they wanted him. He was like their top pick last year, but there's some clause in the contract that Mayo was going to be like the next head coach, which somehow as the assistant coach was kind of weird. I didn't think you could really do that because
seems illegal.
There's rules in place. I mean, you should be able to interview other people, and
right.
I don't know. Maybe there's a buyout and be considered, and maybe something like that.
Yeah,
no
something
one's
like
actually
that.
seen the contract, I guess, but I don't know. So Vrabel apparently behind the scenes who they wanted anyway, but then I think they were shocked that Belichick left or something, or things happened faster than they thought.
Yeah.
Mayo was handpicked by the owner.
Yes, he was.
And that was known that the next coach was going to be him after Belichick.
Which was
that was going to happen.
Yeah, that seemed weird.
Decision.
But that was known. Everybody knew this. It was a worst kept secret.
There was nothing good. That was just a bad.
So
bad
Vrabel,
choice.
whatever, realized the writing was on the wall. He was leaving the Titans, so he sat out intentionally last year. I don't think he took a job because he knows ball, and he knew Mayo was going to struggle and things were going to go south, and he was just cool.
Okay, so speaking of coaching carousels, I got a couple things to throw at you. First, Mike McCarthy let go. Where does Mike McCarthy land, if anywhere?
Well, the Bears wanted him.
Yeah,
all the Vikings fans are like, "Oh yeah, baby."
That's what I'm saying.
Please,
I need some free dubs. I mean, it's kind of what we were talking about. You don't want good coaches in your division. I'll take McCarthy. That dude's worthless.
Yeah.
I know it. And the thing is, like, the Cowboy fans will highlight, because some do, like, well, he did win 12 games in a row, like 12 games, 3 seasons in a row, won a division.
He did.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
I get it. But
no.
Woof.
This is a Raiders hire if I've ever seen
God.
a Raiders
you
hire.
might be right. Dang, that might be
Oh, my God.
nail on the head right there.
You got Skippy McBullcut like, hired and fired coaches left and right. And McCarthy is like scream Skippy McBullcut. Oh, my God.
He seems like a cartoon character, that Raiders guy.
So good.
He's just.
You
had Al Davis. You had Al Davis who like chewed cigars, and then he's got Skippy McBullcuts his progeny. Right? Come on. Stop
so
it.
Good.
Hey, guys.
So good.
Everything about this. Yeah, he's a pure
okay.
Skippy.
So
This is
that's
my son, Skippy McBullcut. He's gonna be awesome. Oh, is he? Oh, is he? Leave the Tupperware at home, sir.
You. Yeah,
he's
he's the Coke bottle glasses away from being all in.
Obscure reference. Okay, but Trolls, the original Trolls movie. Those of you who've watched it, all right, the king, the crappy baby king, that is
the ogre king,
Davis Jr. bowl cutting dude.
God, he totally
is.
Yeah,
he is.
You nailed it. That's his comp.
Yep.
Did he won a Super Bowl, correct?
Who?
McCarthy?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Al Davis Jr. Prodigy.
No,
he won a Super Bowl. He's got that thing in a corner with all. It never has a speck of dust on that thing because that guy will pull out Super Bowl winning coach every 30 seconds. I won this thing. I won it.
So
12 win seasons in a row with the Cowboys.
Some of the rumor mill some of the rumor mill is that Pete Carroll wants to get back into the action.
I've heard that. So that's another one I had on my list here.
He's
What do you think about
interviews.
Pete Carroll?
I think Pete Carroll is badass. That's like one of the most youthful 70-year-old guys I've ever seen in my life.
Right?
He's ridiculous, but
Where does
that
he
dude
go?
can bring some energy.
No.
Where does he go?
Oh,
He's not doing the Raiders.
He's 73 years old.
He ain't no Raiders guy.
Where'd you put
would
him?
he go? I don't even know.
Jags.
Oh.
Like all the old people who go down to Florida. That's
I like
probably-
Jags. That's a good place
But actually,
to retire.
you got your quarterback, you got a running back. All right, let's do our picks real quick.
Okay,
let's do our picks real quick.
Wait, one more. To Lewis, sorry, I'm gonna have to make you uncomfortable about this. Could throw it out there. This name has been rotated a lot. Steve
Lynn Elliott?
Spagnuolo.
Oh,
No.
don't take Spags.
Well,
Does
Does
it's a
he
little
stay
uncomfortable.
or does
I-
he go?
Part of my issue with it is that he deserves a head coaching job. That's what kills me. And
Yeah.
okay, somebody is good when the fans don't want them to go. I got it. Everybody likes to say, "Oh, Eric Bieniemy was not good as a
Go
coach."
ahead.
Yep.
Oh
We didn't
no! Don't take Eric Bieniemy
No,
away from us.
please
He's
don't
awful.
take Eric Bieniemy.
Stop,
dang.
please stop! Don't.
Please,
Yeah.
Spags is just a,
But
Spags is just
Spags,
a good
we
dude.
all love
Yeah,
Spags.
you're right.
He
Everyone loves
is.
Spags.
He is a great organizer. He is a great communicator. He pulls together things that are better than the sum of their parts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gets the most out
Some
of
of the parts
everything.
is better than the parts. Like he can absolutely, he should be a head coach. And
Yes.
I would love to not lose him. And I'm hoping this is all for show, but
I hope he just loves being the best defense coordinator of football.
who gets
And
paid
keep
as
getting
well
rings.
as they pay him as well as a head coach?
But
I
he's
He's
know.
not
taking-
really getting. He's not really getting. If he got a job, he would not be getting a raise.
But he's taking interviews, so he's still got the itch, right?
Well,
I
He's
know, I don't
still
want him to
got
have an
the
itch. I want
But I
him
can
to
tell you,
stop itching.
he's good enough to deserve it based upon our reaction. I promise you, he is great. And
I
he
know, I
should
don't
have
want it.
gotten more recognition for how great he has been. I mean, that guy probably is a statue outside
If he
Arrowhead
goes,
Drive.
if my only hope is that, and I would love to see him get a head coach job just because he deserves it. But if he does, I just hope he goes to the NFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
do
think he would
not-
want to go to the NFC too.
Hey, this is one of those things. If somebody does hire him, unlike when Nagy came back, I was like, eh. But if Spags came back after like a failed coaching thing with his tail between his legs, great. I'm happy to have him coach till
Yeah.
you're 90. I don't care. You're the best.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. All right, so let's go transition over to our pick section.
Yeah, I got to
So
get
gambling picks. Here we go.
Okay.
All right, so-
DraftKings.
I know we need transition 5, Pruitt. Boom.
Nope. You get
That wasn't
transition
5. Jesus,
That's
you didn't give me
5.
5. I'm a
No.
transition 5 or nothing guy.
This is the.
Yeah,
this
that's
is the.
bush league.
One
Yeah,
day,
woohoo!
one day you will deserve transition,
Transition
5.
five.
At
The
that
problem
point-
is only the main host gets these buttons. I keep
That's
trying to
right.
find a way to make my own transitions, and
No,
it doesn't happen.
it's just dog.
yeah.
And our this week's shrewdness gambling picks brought to you by Nose Cam. Nose Cam.
Nose campers for the
Bet
boss.
responsibly with nosecam.com.
That's it. All right. So last week we had a pretty good week. We went 3-1. 3-1's pretty good.
It's a really
Our
good
one
week
was
for
a
us this year.
yeah, exactly. So we're already doing better in the playoffs than we were all season. So
That's
we're off
right.
to a good start.
We're like
So
the
last-
Chiefs. We're a playoff
Yeah.
oriented
So last
team.
week we had the Chargers and Houston over 42.5, and they crushed it with 43.
That's
They
right.
got there.
At
That's
the
right.
last second,
Yeah.
out of nowhere, I thought they were done scoring, and they just
That was not-
Oh, thank God.
That was not the first over I've hit this year on the last play.
Yeah, for sure. And then we had Washington, so I took Washington +3, and they came through and got the dub. So they not only covered, they got the win. We have Buffalo -8.5, so Lou took them to boat race.
Not in doubt. It was exactly what I called.
It did. It was a boat race all the way.
That was easy money.
I mean,
That was
well,
nasty.
after the first score. So Bo Nix got out. I was like, ooh, we might have a game. And then 31
Yeah.
straight points happened. I'm like, oh, we don't have a game. This is boring.
That's nice.
It was
That's
not.
nice, easy money.
Yeah, they just poked
No
the dog
sweat
real
money.
quick.
It was
And
nice,
then we
no
had the
sweat
Chargers. So Chisholm did not run to the stink this time. He ran to the public bet. And boy, the Chargers did not deliver anything. It was
They-
god awful. They outplayed the entire first half. They should have been up a lot, but they didn't do anything. They didn't take advantage. Lou was even commenting during the games, and we all agreed that, yeah, they did not take advantage, and they outplayed. And then the second half, we saw something just, what happened?
The problem with the Chargers, and I finally learned my lesson, is they have this game plan when they get to the playoffs, and it's playing in the playoffs with both of their hands around their necks.
God,
and I refuse to pick them anymore because they're the biggest choke artists I've ever seen.
It was bad. And the vanilla offense was terrible. We had everything was not real good. And just not real great.
Number two.
Exactly.
2.
All right, so let's start off. So while Lou's taking a quick little break.
Almost exactly 38 minutes later.
38
exactly.
minutes late.
So let's dive down to the Mexican safe house and Padog in the interrogation room. Who do you got going for this week's playoff game for our listeners?
So I just have a tough time rooting against Josh Allen at home. I think Buffalo's really tough to beat in their home environment in the cold. Lamar is a great quarterback, and the Baltimore defense is playing really well, and so I think that's going to be a really close game.
Yeah,
it's basically a coin flip, but Buffalo's actually an underdog at the moment. So
at home,
+1, getting a point at home.
I'm taking Buffalo money line.
Money line.
I like it.
And then the +1 for the teaser, obviously.
+1 for the teaser, but I like it, Prue. I think everyone's running to Baltimore, but
Josh Allen has a way of just putting the whole team on his back, and
I think it's important for the shrewdest people to understand, the listeners, that Chisholm was not wholly on board with this. It's very important that we at least have one hive mind on it, because once it's a hive mind, just fade us.
If
we're all four sure that
the Chargers the other way.
If the Chargers were going to cover last week, we're all like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Oh, yeah, I've got no questions. Yeah, we're dead.
That's horrible. Yeah. And you're right. I if I was betting independently, I would bet Baltimore, but I think this is a very, very good pick. So
taking a home dog in the second round of the playoffs is a pretty good. It's
a really good pick.
Take that. Yeah,
really especially one that's carrying arguably the MVP. And I know the winner of this game probably may get the MVP, depending on how it goes. I know there could be any number of people.
I thought they've already got their votes in.
I thought it was like next week.
No, I think they've already turned their votes in. I
don't know. If it's regular season, it should be turned in.
I think the votes are already in, and that's
all
what
right. Well,
happened.
Maybe so.
That's what happened is that the AP votes came in for the Pro Bowl or whatever, and
Sam Darnold, Pro Bowler.
It wasn't Pro Bowl. It was something else. It was something, and Lamar got way more votes, and it flipped the betting odds. Polymarket went from Lamar is now the favorite.
It was all pro.
The all pro. That's what I was
all
thinking.
Pro. All pro voting leaned in Lamar's favor. So
it's probably going to be Lamar now, based upon that.
Huh.
The projection now is Lamar.
Well, either one, I think they both. I don't think there's a loser. I mean, someone's going to not win, and they should, but
it's going to be
whoever wins is not going to be like, I can't believe they won and the other guy didn't.
By the way, live line now, it's up to on Bovada. At least it's up to +1.5 for Buffalo. So you're getting 1.5 now.
Yeah, I think honestly, if you're going to do money line and you are confident in the money line, I really do think there's so much that I have heard that so many people are on the Ravens. I could see that getting to 2.5. You might as well get the extra juice and wait a little bit. I don't think it's going to swing back towards Buffalo.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't swing back that
way.
That's
my projection.
All right,
I don't
Lou,
think it will.
Who are you taking for this weekend? So we got Pruitt with Buffalo. Who you got?
So I understand that the Lions are probably the best NFC team left, and they are playing the worst seeded Washington Commanders. And I think that the Lions are going to win. But my rationale is that the Lions defense is still pretty jank. It's still got a lot of issues. And just because they look good against Minnesota, I hate to bring up another
Why do
painful
you keep
wound.
doing
it's a
that?
Wound. But no, people were like, the Lions defense is fixed. The Lions defense is fixed. Look what they did against Minnesota. All right. And then Minnesota's offense did horrific against the 26th DVOA LA Rams horrific defense that allows 45, 50 points routinely. I would say that the Lions defense is not as fixed as people think. All right. And so I do think that if you had, let's say, a 16-point lead with the Lions in the fourth quarter, you'll be terrified at that point for a backdoor cover. It's coming. All right.
Sure.
So that's why I absolutely feel like the Lions are going to win, but 9.5 points is a ton of points.
That's huge in the playoffs.
I would hate to be sitting there trying to protect a 9.5-point lead late with that defense.
Especially because Jay Daniels feels like the kind of kid that's like not giving in. So I think he's
and he does stuff late.
He
does a lot of stuff late. So I think that's it.
Yeah, his fourth quarter stats they were showing were kind of incredible.
Yeah,
so that's pretty good.
9.5.
You might not win them all, but they played a crap load of one score games.
Still
think 9.5. That ain't one score.
I think Detroit's still going to win that game, but I like those points.
So I also, as you guys know, if you listen to the podcast, I'm a firm believer Dan Campbell's going to crap out for the Super Bowl, and it could very well be this game. I may even sprinkle in a little money
that's
line.
a sprinkle. That's a good money line sprinkle.
Like he's
half
gonna
unit, quarter unit,
right?
something
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, just a little juice.
And it's gonna be fat. What is it, like 300?
Let's see.
No,
right
it's probably
now,
like 230 or something, right?
The money line is 375.
Holy crap,
Almost
375.
401.
Yeah.
Wow.
Woohoo! That's fat money. Might as well do a little something.
That is.
That's worth a couple bucks.
Yeah,
All
for
right.
sure.
Chisholm, what are you gonna do?
Yes. So I am going with coaches. And as a result, I am taking the Rams +6 at Philly. Couple reasons for this. One, coaches. That's one reason, because Big Bay is far superior to Sirianni. Two, you've got an LA team that is playing like they're completely free. No one expects jack crap out of them. And they are playing like a team that knows that they are completely free to do whatever they want. They look like they're having fun. They look like they've got momentum. They're young on defense, and the defense thinks they're good. Whether they're good or not, they all think they're good right now, and they think they're going to play good. So I think that goes a long way. And the Philadelphia offense, outside of Saquon Barkley, who I love, just looks horrendous.
FanDuel has it at 6.5. Are you still good?
Yeah, 6.5, absolutely. I will take that. I'll take that.
I'll take the extra half.
I'll take that hook. I just feel like this is one of those games where, and plus the third reason I forgot was the narrative.
Yeah, there's a little narrative stuff.
You've got
Gotta
the
play for the
country
people.
rooting for the wildfire victims in LA, and what better way to help those wildfire victims than winning an NFL playoff game? So
It worked for Katrina in New Orleans.
And it worked on 9/11.
It did. I'm telling you, these narratives have a way of working.
Patriots won in 2001.
That's
Don't
right.
forget.
May sprinkle in another money line on that one, Chisholm.
May go another money line on that. If you are
Sucker
interested in
for
that
the
money
narrative.
line, it's 235.
I might do a round robin money line on all these. We'll see what's up.
Right. So I feel like, although I do think Philly probably manages to eke out the game because they just seem to do that, I
That's
think
what
it's
they
probably
do.
a field goal game.
Yeah. That could
Okay,
be good.
Dex. So that leaves you.
All right.
Where are
Let's
we?
round it out. So everybody is super high on Houston, and they're putting
look
upset alert.
They
Upset
look
alert for
good.
the Chiefs. Are they done? Oh my God, they played them last time pretty competitively. 27-19 last game. Maybe they've got their number. Whatever, man. I'm going the opposite. I'm going toward the stink of this ratty line because 8.5 points. I think the Chiefs come out with their 3 weeks of rest, and they just thunder punch because we have Andy Reid, speaking of coaches, like, hey, here's what's up. I've had a lot of time to prepare. Oh, it's the same game plan I had from a couple weeks ago. I'm just going to tweak it, and I'm going to throw them something completely different because I had
Andy
two game
Reid
plans.
after a bye is a beautiful thing.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. And also a narrative with this because we're going for the three-peat, baby. Chiefs are going for the three-peat. They're going to send a message. So I'm glad Buffalo and Baltimore are going to beat the hell out of each other for this game. And I'm hopeful the Chiefs just steamroll through Houston because we have more talent, and Houston's D's been playing great. Understand. But at the end of the day, Chiefs -8.5. They're going to cover this thing. I think they win by double digits. And
I like it.
I'm not worried about a backdoor cover.
I like it.
I think they're just going to thunder punch them at home.
Just for additional fodder, my wife and son will be at that said Chiefs game live,
Really?
cheering on Kansas City Chiefs. So I hope
Nice.
that does come to fruition for their sake.
Absolutely. That'd be good. So
They're
to
going and you're not?
Well, I had to make a trade-off because I'm going to the national championship game on Monday night.
Yeah, fair.
Woo!
So I'm sending them.
You're going to go witness a thrashing of
I'm
the
going
Notre
to go
Dame
watch my beloved Irish
Rudy Rudigers.
get beat in all likelihood by Ohio State.
Go Dovers!
If they
Go
do
to
win,
Dovers!
if they
Go
do
Dovers!
win,
Go
how can I not be
to
there?
Dovers!
Maybe the only chance they got. I mean, never
That's
seen
true.
the national championship game.
Yeah, you may
yet.
as well go. So we have, just a rehash for everybody out there, we got Buffalo +1. We've got the Rams +6.5. We got Washington +9.5. We got the Chiefs -8.5. So we got 3 dogs and 1 favorite. And I think we're going to have a good weekend. We're going 4-0 this week, babe. Let's go.
Absolutely.
And drop a few money lines on those things and call it good.
Absolutely.
That's right.
All right. Anything else you
That's
want to hit
right.
before you roll? All right. Well, I hope you make it out of your interrogation room safely, Padam.
Yes, Fruit. Have a
Safe trip back, flight back from the Black Ops site you're at.
That's right.
Have
Whatever
that continental
torture chamber
breakfast for us.
whatever torture
the-
chamber you're engineering for.
No, we're leaving the hotel so early. The continental breakfast is not even open yet. So.
Oh God.
Oh, God. What kind of trip
beautiful.
is that? Jeebus. That's
My
brutal.
boss is a glutton for punishment.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks, boys. Everybody, thanks for listening again. Hope you put the bets in. And, yeah, I think we're going to have a good weekend. Let's watch some good football this week. Hopefully have some good games to watch, except for one with neither Chiefs blowout. But
That's right.
3 out of 4 games good this weekend. That'll be nice.
Absolutely.
That'd be perfect.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Shooting Us listeners. We'll be back again next week to talk through this week's playoff games and line up the championships for each league leading up to the Super Bowl.
And for some
Right.
guillotines. Hopefully we're still alive next week.
That's right. All right, that's it for now. Take care, and we will see you next time. This is the Shrewdness Podcast signing off.